That failed, but I've always wanted to do that. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Sophie and I upload every Wednesday and every Sunday. A little bit of everything really. So yeah, thanks for clicking on this video. I asked over on my Instagrams, I have two, I have a midwife one and I have a normal one. So I asked over on both my Instagrams, which is here. If you don't follow me, make sure you follow me on Instagram. I asked for some questions and some assumptions. So today's video is a quick fire Q&A / assumptions. So it's not going too much into detail about questions and answers, but it's just some quick fiery answers. So I'm filming on my phone today, so I've got my laptop here and I've got pictures here on my laptop that I'm going to be looking at and referencing to for all your questions. So yeah, let's go. Okay, so first one, what made you go into midwifery? This one's really hard to answer, like really quickly. I think it's a combination of a lot of things, but definitely in my post that I work now, working in the hospital, it definitely made my passion come to light more. So I knew that I wanted to do midwifery once I was actually working in the NHS, because I was surrounded by the maternity wards, and then it kind of just was something that I couldn't ignore from that point forward. But I wanted to go into midwifery because I just wanted to be part of that amazing thing where, you know, a woman becomes a mother and etc, etc. I just wanted to be a part of that. So yeah. What are you looking forward to most on the course and least looking forward to? What am I looking forward to most? Definitely placement. Of course, I think that's one that people are definitely most excited about, but I am definitely excited about going to placement in the hospital that I'm at, because I currently work there now and I know some of the midwives up on there, so I can't wait to actually work with them up on placement doing midwifery rather than my current post that I'm doing now. So yeah, definitely excited to go on placement. Least looking forward to it's obviously the sadder parts of midwifery. I think that's kind of the case with everyone, but I think that's something that not necessarily I would get used to, but I think that's something that you kind of learn more how to deal with. So yeah, I'm not looking forward to that, but it comes. This isn't yours. Don't jump up. So these are some assumptions now. We've got, you can't wait to start midwifery. Yes, I cannot wait. You haven't always wanted to be a midwife. That is true. So it's kind of a passion I've always had, but I wouldn't say I've always wanted to be a midwife. I've kind of gone through different phases of things that I wanted to do. When I was younger, I did actually want to be a makeup artist, more in like the special effects type side, because that's a hobby that I have like on the side. And I did beauty therapy, if you don't know that already, so I did makeup in that, and I did want to go into makeup artistry. I love bridal makeup and all of that, but it kind of fell through. And as I also wanted to be a professional dancer, I did dance as a GCSE, and then I moved and did it as a BTEC, and I did lots of dance extracurricular. Excuse me. No, I'm not playing, because I've said you can't have this. Say bye-bye. What grades do you hope to get? So I'm not sure if that's meaning now, what I do now. So what I do now is, well, I've actually finished it. I did a BTEC a level 3 BTEC in pharmaceutical science, and that also ran across a NVQ in pharmacy service skills. So those are the two courses that you had to do hand in hand to register as a pharmacy technician, which I'm in the process of doing now. So I got a double distinction star in my BTEC. It kind of works differently to others, as we didn't sit an exam. We did assessments throughout the whole course, and I kind of knew what grading I was going for as to what paper I picked. So yeah, I knew that I was heading for that grade. So yeah, luckily I have achieved that grade. You're a very bubbly and nice person. Okay, so a nice person, I would hope I'm a nice person. I think I'm a nice person for people that know me. Bubbly person, see, that's a different one for me. I suppose I come across quite bubbly. I think when you're saying something yourself, you're like, oh, I don't think so. But no, yeah, I suppose I am quite a bubbly person. I think I've just got a lot of energy to give out. So yeah. You wanted to do nursing before midwifery. I've actually never considered nursing. The only kind of consideration of nursing is bank positions as a nursing assistant, which is something that I'm going to be looking at whilst I'm doing uni. But no, I haven't really wanted to go into nursing. You're so handsome. That's not really been my kind of forte. I haven't really had an interest in that. Uni is out of your comfort zone. Yes, I would definitely say uni is out of my comfort zone. I never thought I would be going to university, I'm not gonna lie, and only until recently I actually went for that push because I had so much support around me with Ryan and my parents and my friends. Everyone just pushed me to make that decision, but it's definitely out of my comfort zone. Scared of making friends whilst in uni? Yes. I think everyone is. I think just like when you're going into a different year of school, or you're going from primary school to secondary school, you always have that fear. But the cohort of girls that are going to be with me, we have a group already. We have a Facebook group and a WhatsApp group, and we all chat in there. So it's really nice that I kind of already feel like I know them. So that's kind of distinguished the fear a little bit. But yeah, that's definitely a fear. Any work experience? These are kind of midwifery related questions. So work experience for midwifery, I worked for a couple of months in a care home. This wasn't voluntary. I did have a part-time position there. However, I had to give it up because at the time I was also working full-time in the hospital pharmacy, and I was basically working 7 days a week for like a full-time job, Monday to Friday, and then 2 12-hour shifts Saturday, Sunday. And I was doing a course on top of that, so it kind of got a little bit too much. But I did definitely draw a lot of transferable skills from that short time that I was in there. Other work experience, I did attend some antenatal classes, which was really nice, and I did that in the process of applying for university. So I suppose that's something that could go down as experience because that was voluntary, but that's definitely something that I really enjoyed doing. What was the wow moment which made you realise midwifery was for you? So the wow moment was actually when I was working, I can kind of remember it. I was working in the pharmacy. I can't remember, it was when the pharmacy was being all done up, and it was like a weekend shift and it was pretty quiet, and I remember doing the deliveries to the wards, and I went up to the maternity ward, and I remember just seeing the midwives interacting up there and just the atmosphere up there, and I was like, okay, it's now or never, we really need to go for this. And that just kind of pushed me because, I don't know, it just made me smile, and when I talk about midwifery I just smile, and yeah, so that pushed me, and I was like, okay, no, this is what I need to do. It might put you off having children. Well, yeah. I definitely don't think I'm going to be put off having children. I definitely do want children if I'm lucky enough to have children. I've always wanted a big family. I suppose it could put you off a little bit, only because if I know something's going to hurt, then it does put me off doing it a little bit. But we'll have to see. Yeah, yes and no, we'll see. Hopefully not. You've never witnessed a birth. That is true, I have never witnessed a birth yet. Will you be moving away from home? No, I won't be moving away from home. I'm going to be commuting from where I live now, so yeah. How do you think you'll cope with the sadder parts of midwifery? Again, that's not something you can answer quite quickly. I'm not sure, because obviously there's things that I haven't dealt with myself before. I think it will be mentally hard, but I definitely do know that there's a lot of support there. Like at my interview days and things like that, the lecturers have always shown how much support that they give their students. So yeah, I'm definitely nervous about experiencing those things, but I think when it comes to it, I will manage it. So yeah. Did you consider any other courses? If so, what? So I did when I considered doing physiotherapy, so trained to be a physiotherapist, but it wasn't kind of as clinical as I would have liked. At this time I still wanted to be a midwife. That was a dream, but I never thought I would get in, so I was looking at other things. I also actually looked into forensic science and things like that, because that really interests me. Like if there's a murder documentary or a cold case files, I'm on that. I'm watching that. I love it. But again, I think that was kind of more of like a, I don't know, wasn't going to work out. But yeah, I considered some other courses. If you moved into uni accommodation, what should we take that may be forgotten? I'm not sure what may be forgotten, but I would definitely make sure that I brought photos with me, especially if I was living away from home. I'd want photos of me and Ryan, and some of family and friends as well, just to make sure that, you know, whenever I'm feeling lonely or isolated, that I've got pictures there. What did you study to get into midwifery? So the accumulation of my UCAS points came from my level 3 in beauty and spa therapies, so I got a distinction in that. And then the rest of them came from my level 3 BTEC in pharmaceutical science. So those are the two courses that I used to get into midwifery. Favourite animal and why? I always go back and forth on my favourite animal. My favourite animal used to be a tapir. I don't know why, but my favourite animal now is sloths. I have sloth stuff everywhere. Like here, my partner's parents always buy me sloth stuff because I'm absolutely obsessed. Any video on Facebook, I'm on that, I'm tagged in it because they're just the cutest creatures ever. I love them, and they're my spirit animal. Dream job. So my dream job is actually a midwife. That is my dream job. Favorite brand of makeup. That's hard because I like a lot of makeup. Too Faced, maybe. I really like Too Faced. Too Faced or ABH. Yeah. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be? If I could live abroad, I would live in Bali. I love Bali. I love the life, the chilled back life. Ubud is the place to be. I will still visit there. It is on my bucket list. And if I was in the UK, well, kind of UK, I would live in Scotland. Scotland is my absolute favourite place. Honestly, I say this all the time. I would prefer to go to a little log cabin in Scotland than to go abroad. But I wouldn't move anywhere unless my family was nearby. So, proudest moment in your life so far? I would say my proudest moment was getting into university on my first cycle. That was definitely my proudest moment, and I'll never forget that feeling of checking UCAS and looking in disbelief and getting the people around me to like, does that say that I've got a place? Like, I was flabbergasted. That was the proudest moment, hands down, so far. Biggest regret? My biggest regret was doing beauty therapy and not doing A-levels. Only because it could have meant that I could have started my midwifery degree earlier if I did some A-levels and then got the grades then to go in. But yeah, I'm definitely a believer in everything happens for a reason, and the life that I've, set out, the life that I've taken has led me to midwifery in the end, and it's also granted me different things that I may not have got if I did things the other way around. All-time favourite beauty product. If this is kind of like an item type thing, I would say my all-time favourite beauty product is, I'd say eyeshadow, maybe. Either eyeshadow or a good highlighter, I think. Or if it's like a singular favourite product of all time, Benefit or the ABH brow stuff, that's always been like my favourite kind of go-to, and I've tried dupes and stuff but nothing ever compares, so I'd probably say that. You're secretly super nervous to start university. It ain't no secret, I'm super nervous. What advice would you give to someone wanting to move out? So I think this is very individual to yourselves, but I would just make sure that financially you've got everything planned out, because I know before me and Ryan moved out we had lots of talks about it, and we wrote down all of our finances to make sure that it's something that we can actually afford. And yeah, we also went to speak to people in the bank, so we opened a joint account. That's probably the easiest way, I would say, to deal with all of the bills and stuff. So yeah, my advice would definitely be to make sure you have your finances set, so you know exactly what your outgoings are and you know how you'll pay for different things. If you're moving out with a partner, that's definitely prevalent. If you're moving out on your own, again, you want to make sure that you've got your finances, that you know what's going to be coming in and out, because you want to know how much you can afford if your rent, you want to make sure that you can afford the rent and all your bills. Or if you're wanting to buy a house, obviously there's more fees that come with that. So yeah, I'm definitely all for organising things, writing it out, making lists, that kind of shenanigans. What are your short-term goals? So short term for me, I see in the next 5 years, my short term goals are to finish my degree, get through the other end, and land a job as a midwife at my trust that I really love, that I'm going to be on placement at. I would hope in the next 5 years I'd be able to get married and start a family, but we'll have to see on that one, but that's definitely in there. And I also want to buy a house, so get a mortgage in the next 5 years. And my long-term goals, are I want to be a senior in the maternity department, either, the home birth team, or a senior in, diabetic pregnancy, smoking cessation, things like that. I want to be a senior in the maternity role. I also want to have a large happy family. That's always been one of my goals, and I want to do a lot of travelling where I can. I definitely want to visit places like Bali, Mexico, there's so many things on my bucket list, but definitely travel, get a family, and have success in my career. Where are you from? So I was born in Lancashire in a little town called Burnley. So that's why my accent is a little bit confusing sometimes. It's a little bit of a mix of Northern and then Essex, unfortunately. So yeah, I lived in Lancashire until I was about 5, and then I moved down to Yorkshire. I lived in a town just outside of Harrogate, and I lived there for quite a while, and then I moved to Suffolk in a place called Sudbury. I moved there when I was in halfway through year 10 of secondary school, so it was kind of a big move and a big upheave for me because I had to change all of my examining bodies and all that shiz. So yeah, and I still live in Suffolk now. Do you have any brothers or sisters? No, it is just me. I am an only child. What's your go-to outfit choice? Well, I'm not gonna lie, in lockdown it's literally like joggers and Calvin Klein. That is pretty much my go-to, I would say. If I'm going out, it's normally like some high-waisted jeans of some sort and a cropped jumper or something like that. I like to accentuate the waist when I go out. And then I literally wear my Skechers everywhere. They're the comfiest shoes ever, and I know they're not fashionable, but YouTube is out of your comfort zone. Yeah, it definitely is, and I think that's the case with a lot of people when they're starting YouTube. It's a massive fear because you're really putting yourself out there, but it's something that I've wanted to do for a while, so I think it's just that initial push, but it's definitely out of my comfort zone. Yeah, I'm kind of getting a bit more used to it, but if my partner watches my videos around me, I'm like, oh no. You chose midwifery for the baby side of it. No, I definitely did not choose midwifery for the baby side of it. I don't think a lot of people choose midwifery for the baby side of it. I chose it because I like to think I'm an advocate for women. I like to empower women, and I think, you know, there's no other job role where you can really do that as much. And yeah, I've definitely done it for the empowering women side of things, and I think it's amazing what women's bodies can go through. So yeah, that's the side that I wanted to do it for. How long have you been with Ryan? So we have been together 2 years and 7 months, something like that. 3 years in November. What made you decide to buy a French Bulldog? Because they're so cute. Yeah, they're super cute and they have amazing personalities. If you have a Frenchie, you'll know that they're literally the most loving dogs ever, and we love your little snores. Yeah. How old were you when you moved out? I was 19 when I moved out. How are you managing having your own home financially with university? Is a mortgage as student possible when living with a partner? So I don't have a mortgage, we rent. So we half the rent and we half all the bills. I definitely think it's more manageable moving out with a partner, especially in the type of house that we rent. I wouldn't have been able to have done this on my own necessarily. So yeah, it's definitely more financially easier with a partner. I'm not entirely sure how, you know, what changes are going to be made when I go into uni. I know that we're going to have to cut back on certain things, and I'm definitely going to have to work whilst at uni just to help with the bills and things, but I think we'll get by, and I know that I've got support from family as well. So yeah. I've been told that it's best to find accommodation nearby to your placement. So how far in advance is your placement given so accommodation can be sorted? So I think, well, University of Suffolk have said that placement goes out 6 weeks before you find out your whole timetable and things of your shifts. What are you biting for? Normally you know your placement because you will have asked for that placement hospital site. So you should know what hospital that you should be at once you get offered a place. You can ask can you stop biting my fingers? You can ask what hospital sites there are available when you're inquiring about applying for that university. Yeah, so normally they put your shifts and stuff about 6 to 8 weeks in advance, but don't quote me on that. I definitely don't think they give you that far in advance. I think they'd say that. When you're out in community, I think again you find out where you're going to be well in advance, so I don't think that's something to worry about because you definitely get over a month in advance, as far as I've been told, as to, you know, where you're going to be, so you can figure out where you're going to stay, but don't quote me on that because I haven't started yet. So that was all of the questions. Thank you guys for sending them in. Like I said, I've kind of rounded it up to some of them were kind of similar, or I'd mentioned them previous. So yeah, thank you again for sending in your questions, and thank you for watching the video today. If you did like it, or if you heard your question being read out, don't forget to give the video a big thumbs up. Also, if you've got any future ideas for videos, then comment these below. And one last thing, if you're new here and don't already, don't forget to subscribe and turn that notifications button on so you don't miss out on any future videos. And I will see you all again in Sunday's video. So have a lovely day, guys, and thank you for watching. Bye bye.